Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Grand Rising. Assalamu alaikum. Hotep. Shalom. Muscle tough. All those things. All those greetings, whatever you have it. Gonna talk a little bit about just in general topics of business, different things today. I'm gonna be doing a lot of different things. I just thought I'd just record it in the midst of me thinking. I like to think out loud, so you can hear me think out loud. You may get something out of this, you may not. But I guess I won't say I guess, it will be very informative. You can definitely count on that, because I don't really believe in shucking and jiving. So for my little thoughts and things, and just give you a little spiel about that, that's all. And what about society? And business is what my favorite thing. I just really talk about business, because business is what makes the world go around. That's the most important thing, is business. How much business can we do with one another? And it's just my thoughts on financing of so-called melanated businesses, and why they don't have $100 million corporations and billion-dollar corporations and so on and so forth. And then you see plenty of so-called European corporations being developed, get the funding they need, first round, second round, third round, fourth round, all types of funding, without a problem. And I'm here to tell you the reason why that is, and why so-called melanated businesses can't get the same type of funding. And we can't be mad at anyone or any company or any back or race or whatsoever of denying that from us. We can't be mad at that, of those groups not investing in us as they do in themselves. That's really has nothing to do with them. It has to do with us. I always look at this analogy. My brother lives in my house with me. I got a cabinet full of food. But he goes out in the street and eat it with other people, as opposed to eating here at home. Whose fault is that? Is it his fault, my fault? Well, he chooses not to eat at home, but he decides to go out. Maybe he don't like what I cook, put the food in my cabinet, so he goes out and eat other food. So maybe that's what it is. We don't like what we cook for ourselves, and we think theirs is better, so we go out there and get theirs. So if we keep doing that, I will never have a company, $100 billion, like Jeff Bezos' net worth is. His company, Amazon's probably a $20 company. But how did he get there? His people invested in him. His own people invested in him. He'll tell you himself. His own people invested in him. He said, and from one of his interviews that he gave, he spoke about how Amazon got started. And he spoke about he did 60 presentations of seeking investors of $50,000. Out of those 60 people, 20 gave him the money that he needed to start it. So he had the money right there to start Amazon from the first initial investors. And he was willing to give them a portion of his company out of that. So at the end result, he went to his own people to get the money he needed to get his company off the ground. And in turn, he gave them equity in his company. But I say that to say, if your own people are not willing to invest in you, what make you think other nationalities will? It just makes logical sense to me. Unless you have an outstanding idea that no one else has ever thought of, that may be the only way that you can get funding comparable to that of your counterpart, which is, you say, white, Jew, Asian, so forth, Indian. Those are the ones who really are the major players in the field today, in your tech space, in your innovation. It's the Asians, the Indians, and the Jews have the funding. So would be very hard pressed for you to get the same amount of funding that those groups I just specified would get. Now, we could put pressure on them to make them try to even the playing field. And that's what our politicians try to do. I remember Jesse Jackson did something to that effect. We're going to boycott this, and that, so on. But that doesn't last. People are not going to stand too long for boycotting, and they're going to get tired. Eventually it wears out. But if you pool our resources together and start our children who have promise, we have to develop foundations and things of that nature, charity funds, you know what I'm talking about. Those are things that will help us to get on par with the other counterparts or other nationalities are getting 100, 200 million rounds of funding. We have a few businessmen of so-called minority background. You have Damon John, Robert Smith, I think his name. You have a few others. But they haven't created the incubators as the other people have created for their group of people. It may not be racist or prejudice on its face. Well, I'm going to say on its face. They may say, well, we haven't presented the right idea that we want, that we'll get behind to fund your business or your company or your idea. It lacks this and that whatsoever. That's what you're going to go through. And when they got someone from their own ilk and background to present them a similar idea, who would they go with? Who would you go with? My brother with the idea, or other with the idea? They're both the same. I'm going to go with my brother. It's not being prejudiced or anything. It's just I know him. I know his background. I know where he come from. It's the same thing. We'll take a chance on him because we understand his background more than I understand their background. It's just the way it is. I'm the same way. I'm going to go with what I know. I'm going to go with who I know. What I know. It's just the way it goes. Now you can bring politics into it or whatever, but it boils down to who you know, what you know, and that's it. And people are going to put their money where they want to put their money. You can't force them to invest in the neighborhood or in the black tech or so on and so forth, if blacks are not investing in black tech. Doesn't make logical sense. Why would you want they're not even investing in their own space. Why do they want us to invest in their space? Makes sense to me. I've had countless ideas that I brought to my own people. None of them couldn't get them to budge. I mean, great ideas. The ideas I have, if a European heard these ideas, they would think they came from a European. But getting funding from you all, my own people, it's like pulling teeth. The old way. Not today's methods. The old way. So, you cannot look for others to invest in your community, outside of your community, if the community is not investing in themselves. That's what I'm boiled down to. All jokes aside. I put a lot of jest and jokes inside the truth because that's the best way to do it. But it's all serious in all actuality. So I say that to say, invest in ourselves. We need funding groups. We need foundations. All of these things. Universities. Yes, you can establish your own university. Our universities that exist still need to be more innovative, creative. Instead of preparing our students to work in corporations that are outside of the community, we can develop our own tech, our own space, not to exclude others, because in today's society you can't exclude anyone. So, but it's all inclusive. But we will be in control. We can determine how they determine the setup, the direction, the logistics of it. When you do it yourself, that's what you'll be able to do. Without any outside influence, no one can say, do it this way, do it that way. It's our money. When you use your money, it's the money that we, as a group, pull together, then we can do it that way. But you must remember, there's one person you always got to cut in this nation. It's the federal government if you want to do proper business in the United States. That's right, United States, which control the 49 other territories, 50 territories. Look up 28 U.S.C. 3002. This corporation controls all the other 50 so-called states, which are corporations as well. So when you understand that, you learn how to do business in the proper context. You understand business, the way business is done, how you can do business legally within the confines and constructs that's set up. And there you go. It's not hard. Very simple. Very simple. Just applying yourself. When you apply yourself, it's simple. When you don't apply yourself, then it's hard. That's when things become hard. When you're on the fence about something, you're not applying yourself about it, then it becomes hard. But when you apply yourself, take notes, do it the right way, it becomes simple. It becomes second nature, as they say. So I'm not going to hold you guys anymore with nothing else. Just wanted to speak to you. It's been a minute. Hope you got a little something out of this. Like, subscribe, share. I'll be back with another message. I've always got something to say to help you along the way. In business and life, I've been through struggles myself, so I give you from experience, not from what I heard, from what I know. And that's the best way. So I'm going to leave you with that. I always like to leave everyone who don't know that you are a God. Peace to the gods.